Are you looking to move to Green Bay? And if so, in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 6 most common questions that I get from people just like you looking to move to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and also questions that I've heard other people talk about, all about moving here. So if that's something that you're looking for and you're curious about, stay tuned till the end because the last one's going to be something very interesting. If you're ready to go, let's get to it. What's up, guys? This is King Jerome, your local realtor and local guide here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And just like I talked about in the intro, I got 6 points that I'm going to talk to you guys about. Not 6 points, but 6 common questions that I get, that I know other realtors get, and that's very common that I've even seen online about what it's like to live here in Green Bay. And I mean with good reason. So with that being said, got my sweater on, got my slippers. It's going to be a good day, man. It's going to be a good video. All right, number one on the list I got here is, what is the job market like here? What is the job market in Green Bay like? The job market here, honestly, is really great. There's very low unemployment that you have, and there's a lot of manufacturing, a lot of industrial, a lot of transportation jobs here that are available. Yes, it might be a big, sports city, but job-wise, that is what you have a lot of. A lot of manufacturing, a lot of transportation. Healthcare is also a very big one, and you might be surprised. There's a couple videos I've made already on this channel, especially if this is your first time here, where I talk about the healthcare system here. And there's even a map video that I made a couple weeks back that you can see how in Green Bay we have 4 major hospitals. Green Bay's not that big of a city, but we got 4 major hospitals. And if you guys are in healthcare and you guys know about classifications and stuff about hospitals, we have 2 level 2 trauma centers inside of Green Bay. 2 of them, not just 1, 2. And I mean, Green Bay, it takes 15 minutes to get across the entire city. 15 minutes. So it's not that big of a place, but what Green Bay ends up doing is serving like almost all of the upper peninsula of Michigan, and a lot of the Northwoods and things like that, for depending on the type of medical emergency. So if you're in healthcare, that's a great option for you. Another one that I've been getting lately from a lot of other viewers and subscribers just like you is driving jobs as well as shipyards. So let's talk about the driving jobs first. So if you guys are into the trucking business and stuff like that, one of the trucking headquarters that we have here in Green Bay is Schneider National. And Schneider National is known for having those, really big, bright orange trucks and orange cargo trailers that you guys see on the highway. The headquarters are based here. And then they have another very large office in Chicago. But the headquarters are here in Green Bay. And that is like a very big thing here as well. Along with that, and that's usually, if you have a Class A. If you have Class B, and say you have like a hazmat endorsement, you may be able to get a job with, there's a few companies here. There's companies like Feral Gas. And what they do, Feral Gas is like one of a few different, propane companies, right? There's them, there's Gasco, there's another one I can't remember the name of it. And what they mostly do is go around rural homes refilling those LP, liquid petroleum into their tanks in order for them to have heat, to, gas to cook, whatever else that it's used for. So that's one of the options. There's a lot of bus jobs here. Maybe that's your cup of tea, maybe it's not. But a lot of times, a lot of these like school bus companies, what I'm talking about, they have Lamers bus lines, they have First Student. Those are just kind of like the local companies that that have this, and they pay for your training as well as they pay you on the job. So if that is something you're looking for, you've always been curious about, I'm telling you right now, they are looking for people to hire and pay for their training. So I highly recommend, if that's something that you want to do, you go for it. Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the next one, shipyards. So not directly here in Green Bay, but up north, and I'm going to show you a little quick map, the city of Marinette, right? And then on the other side, the city of Marinette is in Marinette County. So it's like 2 counties away from us because we are in Brown County in Green Bay. You got Brown County, then you got Oconto County, and then you got Marinette County. On the other side of the Bay of Green Bay, we have another city called Sturgeon Bay. And in these 2 cities, we have shipyards. But the most renowned one is the one in Marinette, because they have this company called Fincantieri, and it's just known as Marinette Marine. At least that's how I know it as. And in this place, they are contracted with the U.S. Navy, and they are constantly building warships. So if you're driving down, say you're on the main street of Marinette, and say you're just about to cross into Menominee, which would be crossing into Michigan, off to the right, you will see Navy ships floating there that they are currently working on. So there's plenty of positions that they have. I know they hire a lot of electricians, a lot of other companies, not companies, but jobs and positions that are required in order to make this ship do what it needs to be able to do. So you got places like that. You have places in Sturgeon Bay. I think they have the same company out there as well, or they just make a lot of yachts. Same thing with Manitowoc. Manitowoc is another city that's a little further south. And there they have another company called Burger Boat. And over there, it's the same thing. They're making boats, they're making yachts, and they hire a lot of the similar type of people to work on these vessels. So if that is something that is of interest to you, I'm telling you, man, Green Bay has got something for you. And the last one with the transportation jobs is the train industry. Green Bay has a hub for, I believe it's called Canadian National, one with the CN. And I know there's usually job openings there as well. I honestly cannot tell you how to get a job or anything like that, or how many people they're hiring. I honestly don't know. I just know that they do hire people, and they have a hub here that people do work out of. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is how affordable is it to live here in Green Bay? Green Bay in general is very affordable to live. And I know I made a couple months back, what is the cost of living like here in Green Bay? And I know I'm due to make a new one at some point in the future, and I will. But affordability here, it's pretty good. It's still pretty good, especially now with President Trump in office. You know, it's more seeing where the dust settles with how things are going to cost. Even though, in general, things are still the same. I'm going to tell you, though, property taxes, regular taxes are a little higher than, I would say, the national average, possibly. Brown County, they do have like you will see almost distinct changes in tax depending on which city and which county that you live in, right? So, of course, the bigger the city, it's likely you're going to pay more property tax in those areas, as opposed to if you live way out west in the middle of nowhere, you know, in a town of like 200 people, your property tax is going to be significantly lower than it is for living in a bigger city. Another tax that Green Bay does have, that is, it's when it comes to the Packers. When it comes to the Packers, to Lambeau Field, things like that, the city of Green Bay owns the Packers, right? It's not actually bought out by its own individual owner. So anytime there's repairs and things like that that need to be done, sometimes you can see this reflected on your property tax bill. And that's something to keep in mind. Most of the fans out here are diehard Packer fans. Not everybody, don't be mistaken. Not everybody out here is a Packer fan. I personally grew up a Patriots fan because I'm from Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts. That's where I'm originally from. And my phone number, which you guys will see down in the description, as well as the top pinned comment. And even when I give you my QR code so you guys can scan and come talk to me, reach out to me, it's going to have a 508 area code because that is where I'm originally from. So prices here, it's decent. When it comes to groceries, and I know the big craze right now is how expensive eggs are getting. And I'm not an economist. I can't really give my 2 cents on that. I personally believe prices will eventually go back down, right? But as of right now, as of me making this video, they're a little high, right? The highest I've seen for some eggs, and this was at one of the local grocery stores, for like really large round eggs, was like $11.99 or $10.99, one of the two. For it wasn't a dozen, it had 3 rows. I can't even do math right now, but it was like, damn, I can't do math right now. 18? Yeah, 18 eggs, right? Yeah, so like a carton of 18 eggs was about $10.99. Yeah, that's really expensive, but I guess it's that time to get some chickens. I got 4 of them, in my backyard, and they're awesome. Maybe I'll record a little quick video about them at some point, but that's what we're dealing with, and even I know I've talked about also with when it comes to other grocery items like meat, right? Here in Green Bay, we have 2 major not meat market, but 2 meat packaging plants, right? Like they're two butcher facilities, right? And they, slice up and diced meat. We also have a sausage factory that's in the village of Denmark, which is a little further south of Green Bay. So there's a lot of meat production that happens here. There's a lot of meat and cheese production that happen here in Green Bay, because you also have places like Sargento cheese, you have places like Belgioso cheese, you have places like Schreiber Foods, and these places also make a lot of cheese, a lot of meat. And there's also another company that you can find also in the city of Manitowoc, and I talked about them before, called Lakeside Foods, and they make a lot of canned goods, canned vegetables, things like that. So the industry, this is kind of tying back to what is the job market like here in Green Bay and the surrounding areas. I'm telling you, there's so many jobs, paper companies, driving, healthcare, even public safety. I'm personally in public safety. If this is the first time on my channel, I do this real estate part-time, and full-time, I'm a firefighter paramedic. And you can see that all across the board in public safety as well. A lot of openings, a lot of places needing to fill spots, right? Yeah, so that's the cost of living. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I think I got pretty much most of that. All right. So next one is, what is the quality of education in Green Bay? So quality of education, especially if you got your kids, it is literally awesome. It is, I want to say, some of the best education in the nation here in Green Bay. A lot of high test scores almost in every category, no matter the school. Of course, just like in any other place, the level, say this is the bar of where the majority of the schools are. Sometimes you have some schools and some students that come slightly below. But this below is still very high compared to the national average. I promise you that you will not be disappointed at all with the quality of education that your children will be getting here. Now, if you're an adult and we're talking about not secondary, but post high school education, we have a technical college here called Northeast Wisconsin Technical College. We have another one down in Appleton called Fox Valley Technical College. And the technical college system in Wisconsin is like it's extremely well put together. So here at NWTC is what we call it short. They have so many programs that you know it'd be crazy for you not to go at least explore it. They also have, and this is not usually traditional for a lot of technical colleges or two-year colleges, they have dorms here too. So if you're a young professional, you're looking to start over, or maybe you're moving here with your parents and say you don't necessarily want to stay home while you're going to college and stuff, they do offer dorm rooms. We also have the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and they have a very good education system there as well. The biggest thing noted for them, if you're into sports, is their basketball team. And if I'm not mistaken, they're still Division One at this point. I would assume they'll probably get booted down to Division Two if they haven't yet. That's just my personal opinion. I'm probably wrong, but that's just how I see it. Yeah. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. So, education system here, absolutely excellent. And you, just like I said before, you just won't be disappointed. Next point is, what kind of lifestyle and culture does Green Bay offer? So the lifestyle and culture here. The best way I've always described Green Bay to people who are not from here or have never lived here and are looking to move here is that Green Bay to me is like the largest small town that you'll ever live in. The only other places I've heard that are similar to this are like places like Indianapolis, and other similar cities with NFL teams, because when I first moved here, I'm telling you, I got bamboozled. I was thinking Green Bay was a huge city because it has the Packers, but it's not. Green Bay is not a large city at all. Although it is the third largest city in the state, because you got Milwaukee is number one largest, number two is Madison, which is also the capital, and number three is Green Bay. Number four is Kenosha, and of course, if you guys don't know Kenosha, there was the whole riots that happened a couple years back, with Kyle Rittenhouse and everything like that. That's Kenosha. That's the fourth largest right after Green Bay. So the culture here, it's very family oriented. Very family oriented. Except when it comes to sports, right? This is a huge sports city. Very big. And I mean, it's like that with the rest of the state as well. But here's very big. Here you got, of course, the Green Bay Packers. Then you also have the Indoor Football League, the Green Bay Blizzard. Then you also have the Green Bay Rockers, and they're like a little league baseball team. And then down in the Appleton area, you have the Timber Rattlers, and they're a AAA feeder team to the Milwaukee Brewers. And of course, in Milwaukee, you got the Brewers. In Madison, you got the Wisconsin Badgers. There's a lot of sports that we have here. Not only that, we also have hockey. So the hockey team here is called the Green Bay Gamblers, and they're part of the USFL. I think that's the league. I'm not a hockey guy, guys, but I think that's USFL, something like that. That's the league that they're in. So of course, yeah, they're pros, but obviously they're not the NHL. Same thing with the Green Bay Blizzard. They're not the NFL, So, but they're still professional. So that is what it's like. Nightlife, especially for young, it's kind of limited here in Green Bay. So what I've noticed, the best bang for your buck for getting like a good full experience of the nightlife here is traveling, whether you're doing bar hopping or club hopping between Green Bay, Appleton, and Oshkosh. Those three, like you going around, like doing a round robin, that usually gives you a decent amount of variety, which you do end up running into, and it's very common. I'm sure it happens with a lot of cities, maybe not so much with the larger cities, but you go to a place long enough, you start recognizing people. And then you'll notice that on the street. It doesn't happen immediately like a small town, but remember I said this is like the largest small town I've ever lived in. you start to recognize people out and about. You know, a telltale sign for me when I first moved out here was when I was playing some football out here, and I added 2, 3 people on Facebook. And from there, every time, and I'm sure this was just the Facebook algorithm working, but everybody I seemed to look up all had at least one mutual friend. And I'm like, how's that possible? I'm new to the city. How can I have mutual friends with these people that I don't even know? But that happens. Maybe it was just the algorithm working really well, or the city's just that small enough, and that is something that you guys will notice. And before we continue, I have a message that I would like to tell you guys about. Let's go there. Before we continue with this video, are you planning to move to Green Bay, but you're overwhelmed with the amount of things that you need to get done? You're not sure what things need to be done right now, and what things can be pushed off for a little bit. Well, I got something for you. My Green Bay relocation guide, which I finally finished, is now here. And in this guide, I break down things you need to do 3 to 6 months before you move here, such as making sure you know which neighborhood you want to go live in, having a plan, knowing what utilities you're going to use, 2 to 4 months, which shows which moving companies you need to have down and things like that. Make sure you download it. On one of these sides, you're going to see a QR code. Scan that QR code, and right there is going to take you to my link tree, which is going to be the link to download that guide, and it's also going to be in the description below if you are watching this on your phone. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and make sure you send this to somebody who is planning to move to Green Bay and you see that they look pretty overwhelmed. Now let's get back to the video. Welcome back to the video, guys. And like I mentioned in the video, if you haven't grabbed that relocation guide, make sure that you do, because it is very helpful. You will love it. And if there's any other questions that you have with it, or if you have any trouble getting it, make sure you comment it down below. Scan the QR code. There you're going to see a video of me. You're going to have the relocation guide. There's going to be a link to schedule a time to talk to me, or you could just straight up download my contact information and give me a text or give me a call. Either way, it's all good. So with that, let's move on to the next point. And that is, what is weather like here in Green Bay? Weather here in Green Bay is like super bipolar and unpredictable. It's so tiring. Today, or yesterday, we just got slammed with 5 to 6 inches of snow. I just paid some guy $40 to plow my driveway because I looked at it, I'm like, there's just no way I'm going to go get out there and do that, do all that shoveling. But after we got piled on yesterday, today's a nice little break day. And now tomorrow, there's going to be more snow. A lot more snow. And unfortunately, the heat just kicked out of my truck, so that's exciting.
No bullshit, bro.
So the weather here, beautiful fall. Nice spring, The summers here, they do get hot. I mean, it might not be hot like Texas hot or Arizona hot or New Mexico hot. It doesn't get triple digits. Once in a while it can, but it doesn't get triple digits. So the hottest I've seen it get here can be 98, 99, almost 100. But when it gets to that level, you have to take account that we do have some humidity here because we got all this water around us. So, man, it gets hot. It gets hot, and I'm not a fan of being hot. And go figure, the career that I chose to be a firefighter, right? And I hate being hot, I hate sweating, and I decided to go do that. So that's what the weather's like. If when you come here, you just have to be prepared for snowfall, And with snowfall, if you've never driven in the snow before, you got to take your time. You definitely got to take your time. Every year during the first snowfall, people act like they don't know how to drive in snow. They start speeding and everybody ends up in a ditch. And then they'll show up on the news for about a week of everybody ending up in a ditch. And then once everybody gets their act together, right, then the news doesn't cover it as much anymore because You know, people are starting to, just like every single year, get it together. You have been down this road before. This is not something new. So, yep, we covered snow. We covered spring. Yeah, so that's pretty much the weather here. During the hot summers as well, and this is great for kids. All the parks here, well, not all of them, but the majority of them, there's splash pads, to keep cool, and we have, I believe, 2, possibly 3 community pools here that you can take your kids to, and it's very cool, very exciting. Sorry about that. Just had another client reach out to me real quick. So thank you for reaching out. I seriously appreciate that. That's so cool. Like in the middle of me recording, I just had a reach out. So whoever just texted me, I will reach back out to you as soon as I'm done recording this video. Next point that we have here. Nope, that was all the points. That was all. Actually, no, I skipped one. What are the recreational opportunities like here in Green Bay? So Green Bay, one of the big things that attracted me here was the fact that it's not all completely city, right? So there's opportunities to do outdoor activities that me living in a city, I've never had the opportunity to do. For example, snowmobiling, right? A lot of snowmobiling, kayaking, riding ATVs, fishing, all that. Yeah, it sounds like you could do that anywhere, but here in like Green Bay and all of Wisconsin, there's so many opportunities and places to do this. Same thing with camping. Like, I can't tell you how many campgrounds, if you just drive, say, between, just on 43, the entire way up. Oh, I have a second one. How exciting is that? That is very exciting. If you drive across the state, there's so many campgrounds and things like that you will run into. So there's so many opportunities for camping, whether you want to do tent camping, whether you want to camp in an RV. There's a couple national forests. There's a lot of hiking that you can do. It's honestly, if you're a nature lover, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. And even if you grew up in the city, it's a nice little change of pace because Green Bay, it's not too rural, but it's not too city either. It's kind of like right in between. And that's something I've always kind of enjoyed because I know I didn't talk about it in this video and I've talked about it in other videos, but the crime rate here is very, very low. Very low. It's to the point where people get comfortable doing like really reckless stuff. And I can't lie, I've done it too. Like leaving your car running and go run into the gas station and nobody takes it. I'm telling you, like, it's hard to believe it, but nobody takes it. Once in a very great while will you hear about a carjacking. And they're so rare that they make it to the news. It's not something that's constantly happening all the time. No, I'm telling you, it's very, very, very rare. Can it happen? Yes. Does it happen? Once in a great while. But it is not common practice here. I don't know the last time I locked my doors in my vehicle, and I should really be doing that more often. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got value out of this video. I hope I answered some of these common questions. If you have some more questions that I didn't, cover in this video, comment it down below. That way I can go cover it in a future video. Because as you guys can tell, I like to talk. I like to talk on the phone. On video. I like to talk on video. I like to have my face out there. Make sure you like this video. Share it with somebody that you think will find this very beneficial. If you haven't already, because about 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, do me a favor, hook a brother up, support the cause, subscribe to my channel. And just like I said during the middle of the video, if you guys want to reach out to me, you have any questions, I'm telling you, it's not a bother. Like, to me, it's exciting when you guys reach out to me because I get the opportunity to help you out. If I can't get to you right away, I'll text you and let you know, like, hey, man, I'll call you right back. Yeah, that's about it. QR code's right over here. Make sure you go scan that. If you're on a TV, you can scan it. But if you're watching this on a phone, the link will be in the description below. That you can go click on that. So remember, the same link to schedule a call or download the relocation guide. It all goes to a link tree, and there you have a video, introductory video, my book a calendar link, relocation guide link, as well as to download my contact information. So just scan that or click onto the link and get in contact with me whenever you guys are ready to do that. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.